Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cave Trolls podcast. I am Terry.
And I'm Dave.
Yes, we are here. That's all we have. Thank you for coming today.
Here, there, everywhere.
Timey-wimey, like last week.
Space and time.
Okay, so today, what do we have to talk about, Dave?
All sorts of stuff. You have some things. I have some things. Together, it's stuff.
Okay, well, we could tell the people about the stuff.
It's a surprise.
Well, okay, let's surprise them with the stuff.
All right. I'm opening the box, and it's Final Fantasy 14. I got Space Truckin', which in my mind equals out to Elite Dangerous.
I love talking about Elite Dangerous.
And Dave hates everything. The topic will be MMOs, which relates to Final Fantasy 14.
It also relates to Elite Dangerous because, I mean, it's not a traditional MMO, but it is massively multiplayer.
I might be able to have fun with that because spaceships.
Oh, definitely. You'll have tons of fun. We will kill space.
Yes.
Well, I mean, actually, I'm a...
Can that be done?
Yes, it can, but I'm actually just a normal space trucker. People try to kill me and take my things. So if you're rolling with me, we're rolling pacifism style.
All right.
Like Smokey.
But I could be your bandit.
No. Smokey from Big Lebowski, not Smokey from Smokey and the Bandit.
You say space truck, and I automatically go to Smokey and the Bandit in space.
We can do that.
What other option is there, Terry?
Well, we can smuggle. There's things like slaves and
I can grow my hair out. I can be Chewie.
Spices. Oh, we could be like Han Solo. But I'm Han Solo.
Well, yeah, I said I could be Chewie.
All right, just making sure.
I already made myself second banana, damn it.
I need to reiterate to the people that you're a second banana. What else do we have?
We got Goosebumps the movie.
You want to talk about Jack Black?
Yeah,
vehicle,
because I saw a
Goosebumps
trailer
the movie?
for that, and I thought it was hilarious.
It could be funny. I don't know. I watched Goosebumps when
I think
was
it'd be
younger.
silly fun, and I mean, I honestly never really read any of the Goosebumps books.
Okay. Really?
But, like, yeah. Because I was a scared little child.
I was more into the Michigan and American Chillers.
I think I read one of those that involved tractors, and I was like, this is dumb.
I don't know if I read the tractor one, but I like they're based in each state.
Yeah.
Unlike Goosebumps, where it was just like, thoughtful. Whereas in the American and the American Chillers are based on different states, and Michigan Chillers were about different cities.
Yeah, I remember that. I just like the titles because of the, what's it called? Alliteration?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what was in Escanaba.
Moonlight?
Yeah, that too. What else do we have?
Down here at the bottom, well, Minecraft has cross-platform play now, but it's misleading. It's not really going to be that amazingness of playing PS4, Xbox One.
Okay, we'll cross into that. We'll go right into it.
All right. I read on a little bit about this today, and it's really just the beta for Minecraft on Windows 10 is going to be compatible with the
Xbox version?
No, not even that. It's the Pocket version.
So people who are playing on their phone or tablet can play with the beta version on Windows 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're in a house, they only got one computer. Pull out your fucking tablet and play some Minecraft.
Okay, but is it still the Pocket version, or is it like a streamed version of the Windows 10 version of Minecraft?
That's where I'm foggy on.
Okay,
yeah, sure.
That I feel like is more likely because the Pocket version is very minuscule. It doesn't have a lot, so I could see that being confusing. But they can use those words. Technically, that's cross-platform. Those are two different platforms. But that is bullshit. It's just like the whole Tomb Raider thing right now. Tomb Raider this year is going to be platform exclusive to Xbox. So the new Tomb Raider, the kick butt one that came out last gen, the reboot. This is the sequel. Technically Xbox exclusive, but it's not. It's timed exclusive.
Oh.
But it's going to be a year out.
They're doing like the whole Resident Evil 4 thing.
Yeah, well, Resident Evil 4, to be fair, the creator of Resident Evil 4 said he would chop his own head off if that came to any other platform. So he did not plan on that coming to PS2. So in that case, a little bit different. This is more Microsoft saying, "Hey, Tomb Raider's exclusive," and then us going, "No, it's not." You lying sacks of shit. But I'm still excited for it. I'm probably gonna play it on PlayStation because this year I have Uncharted on PlayStation, and then next year I'll buy Tomb Raider.
There you go.
I don't really need both in the same year. They're very similar games.
I mean, I played that Tomb Raider game. I wasn't too into it.
No, but you're not too into anything.
True.
What was the last game that you loved? Just to set some examples. So you didn't like Tomb Raider that much. You were okay with it though, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible. It was okay.
It was not my thing.
And in his defense, I really liked the game up until the first kill, when it became a bro movie.
Yeah.
So up until
then,
then, it was a really cool. It was like a survival thing. You played as this girl who, not helpless. She was very capable, but she wasn't killing anybody. She was just trying to survive.
She did fall a lot in the beginning.
Oh, she fell a fuck ton in the beginning. But you try climbing a mountain, damn it.
You know what? That's fair.
On a deserted island that's not so deserted. It reminded me a lot of the first season of Arrow when they showed the flashbacks.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, except for she was way less helpless than Ollie.
She kind of knew what she was doing.
Exactly. And it was spoilers for Tomb Raider if anyone hasn't played it. I mean, it's a couple years out, but spoilers, so that'll be your warning. When you finally get the bow and arrow and you do your first kill, it was like heart-wrenching because like she'd done such a good job at hiding, not having to kill anybody. She didn't want to have to kill. She was kind of forced into it. And the first time you take it, she's so emotional. I'm crying. She's crying. She just took a life. But then I swear to God, like it might be a few minutes. It's been a long time since I played it.
It blows way out of proportion.
I know. It's like 5 minutes later, I'm killing dudes with a grenade launcher.
Yeah.
I'm blowing up, not tanks, but like trucks coming down a road. I'm blowing them up with rocket launchers, grenade launchers, and it just felt a little off to me. It was still fun. I was still having fun in that gameplay, but it felt like two different games. It was very disjointed.
Big jump.
Big jump, exactly.
Because I didn't play that much farther after the kill, but it was still like, yeah, I mean, like, I'm just sitting here in this bush, and I'm debating on whether or not I should take this guy out. Then all of a sudden, it's like, well, they all got to die now.
Right. Well, now Tomb Raider 2, this next one, I don't know. It's
like
not called Tomb Raider 2.
Rise of the
Tomb Raider. It looks like it has more of a Last of Us or Metal Gear Solid feel, where you can either sneak around the people or assault them.
Yeah.
So you can play two different ways or mix and match. So it's a little bit more exciting. We probably aren't going to have that crazy disjointed feel. And it's raiding tombs. It seems like it's going back to the fundamentals of the original series, but not the gameplay. She's going there. She's trying to get an artifact. She's Indiana Jones in it.
Well, there you go.
So it looks neat. You might like this one a little bit better, actually. But I mean, it might burn you because I know you didn't like Uncharted 1, so you've never played the rest of them. But Uncharted 2 and 3 are some of my favorite games.
I'll eventually look into them. I mean, you own them. I'm going to get bored eventually.
Exactly. And if you play them on the PS4, they got rid of the really shitty grenade throwing mechanic from 1. Because in 1, you threw grenades with motion controls from the six-axis controller.
Stupid.
Yes, really dumb. But it was a launch title, It was a flagship title. So
hey,
look
at our gimmicks.
Exactly. Whereas in these ones, they don't have that. And it's much better for them, but really the story is just really good. Again, it's an Indiana Jones movie. But just for some comparison, what's some games that you've loved in the last couple of years?
Well, you did mention Last of Us.
Okay, yeah.
That's a huge one.
To be fair, Last of Us is one of the best games I've ever played of all time.
Yeah, I mean...
There are people, and don't get me wrong, there are people that don't like it, and then, perfectly right by them. That's their opinion. But not many. I don't, not often do I see people go, Last of Us.
They are clearly not the status quo. But yeah, that opening prologue sequence, tier, man.
Oh, definitely. What else? What else do you like? Arkham City. Yeah, big fan of Arkham City.
Arkham City was fantastic.
How far are you in Arkham Knight?
I just got. I don't know exactly how far I am, like percentage wise.
Okay. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. So we'll just say you're pretty far.
Yeah. I mean, there's this big bomb. People are getting scared.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole plot of the game.
Yeah.
You like the Batmobile?
I do and don't.
Yeah, I'm very torn on it too. I'm not like a lot of the haters out there. No offense to them, they have perfectly rights. There is too much Batmobile in that game.
Yeah.
But I still had fun playing with it. It was a neat thing. I feel like they implemented too much of it.
The puzzles involving the Batmobile get really annoying.
Really old, especially because there's too many of them.
Yeah.
I feel like they just tossed too many. It was neat the first time. I was like, oh, I use the grappling hook and I pull it down. But then at one point they have you platform with it.
Yeah, multiple parts because Edward.
Well, in the story, but yeah.
Edward Nygma is just like, hey, Batman, I've got this trial for you.
The Riddler trials with it are really, really frustrating. And actually, I have fun collecting all the Riddler trophies, but in this game, so much to do with the Batmobile, I got tired of it.
Yeah, the Riddler trophies feel so tacked on in this one.
A lot of it feels tacked on this one. It feels like Rocksteady didn't want to make this game in a lot of times. And I know there's a lot of people saying this is their masterpiece, which is fine. But the story it feels like it's been done before. The mechanics are neat, but they're not. It doesn't feel like natural progression. It feels like, hey, we're doing this final game. We need to make it way different.
Yeah.
So the implementation of the Batmobile, while fun, is a little bit silly. Now, I am a little bit in the minority here. I did like the tank combat. I felt like there was too much of it, especially in the main story.
Yes.
I feel like 1 or 2, or maybe even 3 of those would be cool, and then have a bunch of challenges with it. So if you liked it, you can have more of it. If you didn't like it, there's only so much.
Yeah. I mean, it's a new thing. it was a pretty big gamble for them to just say, hey, most of our game is about this.
Exactly. And then there's the infamous Deathstroke battle, which, again, spoilers, I'm going to talk about a part later on in the game. We're not going to talk too much about it, but I'm going to talk about when Deathstroke shows up. He does show up.
I did not know that.
Yep. So Deathstroke shows up. I'm not going to tell you why or anything like that, but just know you don't get a cool boss battle. Like Arkham, that's my favorite part of Arkham Origins was that boss battle. Again, I'm not a big hater on Arkham Origins. I thought it was a fun game. Warner Bros., they're still honing their skills. They didn't make 2 Batman games before that. That was their first foray into it. And it was a really good Joker story. But Deathstroke shows up, and you don't fight him. You fight him in a tank.
What?
Yeah, when you defeat his tank, you'll find out what I mean. You take him to jail.
What?
Yeah, it was very, very frustrating. I was so bummed. I was like, this is going to redeem this game for me. This is going to make it a 10 out of 10. And then I take him to jail.
I mean, he's Deathstroke.
I agree. So, in Batman's defense, if Batman's going to fight a bad guy, it's going to be like a lot of these boss fights in Arkham Knight. You are just going to take him to jail. You're Batman. You can defeat them. You are Batman.
Yeah.
But Deathstroke is one of the best martial artists in that universe. They've had, a toe-to-toe before, and he almost beat you.
I mean, wasn't there a comic book where he just decided that he was going to try to kill Superman?
Yeah, that was a whole arc.
He's like, you know what? I'm this good. I could probably do it.
I could probably kill Batman. I could probably kill Superman. So
that is either an insane amount of hubris or there is quite a bit of truth to that.
Exactly. So it was a little bit frustrating when he doesn't fight him. But other than that, I thought Arkham Knight was good. But that's a good comparison. So you thought Tomb Raider was okay. You're enjoying Arkham Knight. You liked Last of Us. Now people kind of know where you stand. You're not just saying, hey, I hated this loved game from last year.
Yeah, I don't literally hate everything. It's just a trope.
Well, I mean, you hate most things.
Right. I'm very vocal about my minimum dislike of things, and it makes me sound like I hate everything.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to use that as a segue to our next topic. You hate most things, but you think you might enjoy space trucking.
I do, because I like space, and I mean, trucks are a thing.
So let's give some people some comparisons. You like Smokey and the Bandit, movie mostly about trucking.
Love that movie.
And running away from cops.
Yeah.
Called The Bears?
Smokies.
Smokies?
No,
they're Bears. God, we haven't seen Smokey and the Bandit
they
for a
are
long
Smokies.
Time. There are Smokies?
Yeah,
who are the Bears?
What Bears?
I swear to God, he calls someone Bears. It's been too long. I need to see this movie again.
Because the Bandit and his partner, Snowman.
Anyways.
They're eastbound and down. They're loading it up and they're trucking.
We got a big old convoy.
Different song, but I'm with you.
I know, but it is a different song, but both from Smokey and the Bandit.
I think you're thinking of Rubber Duck, though.
No, that he talks about Rubber Ducky. That song is called Convoy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but there's a movie that involves that song, and it's about a trucker named Rubber Duck.
Is it?
Yeah.
Am I mixing up my trucker movies?
I think you are.
Does that one also have Burt Reynolds in it?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure I could swear Smokey and the Bandit. Does not matter. No one gives a fuck.
No, they don't.
But anyway, Smokey and the Bandit, truckers, space trucking. So you like Smokey and the Bandit, but in Rubber Duck, whatever that movie is. And have you seen Space Truckers, the movie?
No.
This is where this phrase comes from when I talk about Elite Dangerous, because that's what we're talking about. Elite Dangerous, an amazing, to me, MMO type space simulator on the PC, and it's rumored to be coming to Xbox eventually.
Okay.
And it's an amazing game. You can play lots of different styles. So you can be a bounty hunter. So you have your ship, you upgrade it into be a combat-like vehicle, and it's a space simulator. So it's best played with a throttle and a flight stick. That's how I play. And you can go to different galaxies, not different galaxies. Yeah, I think you can go to different galaxies. You can go to different systems, different stars, different planets. You can't go onto these planets yet, but they want to implement that eventually.
Oh, that could be neat.
Yeah, and basically, you can do whatever you want. So if you're a bounty hunter, you're going to be hunting down people with bounties on their heads. That means NPCs and that means players.
Oh.
So if you're a pirate, which is another play style you can go to, if you're taking out people, stealing their cargo, taking their ships, taking their money, killing people.
You're going to have some bounty hunter trouble.
Exactly. You're going to have some bounty hunter trouble. You can be, like I said, you can be a pirate hunting down these people. You can be like me and be a pacifist trader. Now, when I say pacifist, I'm using it very lightly because I will fight somebody if they're going to fight me. But I'm probably going to lose because I have a very, very large ship that has very little guns, so I can carry as much cargo as possible.
Yeah, you got to have all that cargo space.
And the game has so many little nuances. So part of being a trader not only do you have to figure out what's the most you can take for the most money, so you can kind of compare the galactic market. So wheat might be worth very, very little in one system, so you go buy it there. But it's worth a shit ton in another system.
Yeah, you got to watch those markets.
Exactly, but that's not the only nuance. You also have to worry about it being a safe traffic area.
Yeah.
So you're going to make a route that's not only fast, but also safe. So that can send you around different places.
You got to stay away from that outer rim.
You have to buy fuel, so you have to balance your fuel. Do you have enough fuel? Do you have a big enough engine to warp to that system? Do you have a clear shot? Because you can warp, but it's just like in the movie Lost in Space. You can't warp through a sun.
Yeah,
which they do in that movie, so that's a bad example. But you have to have a clear shot, so you have to know your routes. So there's that little nuance. The other little nuance is smuggling. So you can be a trader like me, but you can also be a smuggler, like Han Solo, which is perfectly acceptable, except for the system does a really good job of catching these people. So if you're going to enter a galactic space station, whether it be a smuggler space station or a normal space station, they have a security system. So if you're on a smuggling space system, they have slaves there, they have illegal spices. They'll let anybody in, basically. Go in, do whatever you want. But that stuff is worth very little there because anyone can have it.
Yeah.
But say you want to smuggle these illegal goods into a galactic Federation-run space station. It means you have cops, you have good people, they have security. So the second you enter, people are going to be scanning your ship. Now, this is pretty easy. Shut your engines off. They can't scan you. They don't know you're there.
Yeah, you go dark.
But to enter the space station, it requires a lot of precise movement. You have to know exactly the rotation of the space station.
Oh, shit.
And you have to be able to go fast enough to pass through the gate. So what people do, I forgot the name of the technique, but there's a player who perfected this. You power down, and then you turn it back on as soon as they're done scanning you, and you thrust. And then you turn it back off so they don't scan you again. And you have to aim perfectly so you can slide into the space station without being detected and hit the perfect rotation.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's really, really neat. But that's what you have to do if you want to smuggle. And there's also space cops scanning people all around. And there's little meetups that you can go to if you just want to hang out with some people or take out some pirates. So it's a really, really fun game. You have to really enjoy flight simulators. Because that's all of the gameplay.
Yeah, I really enjoy flight simulators.
Exactly. I really think this is a game that you can get into. I know often I recommend games to you, and you're like, it was fun, but not your thing. Yeah. We're going to go into that here in a few minutes. But I feel like you could enjoy Elite Dangerous.
One of my biggest complaints about Halo Reach was they didn't implement There was one mission where you go up into space and you fly around, you shoot down banshees and what have you.
Yep.
They did not implement that in a multiplayer way.
I know.
That would have been so fun.
And I know they just kind of wanted to do it because they had plans. Maybe if they do more, they're going to use that system. And I know that was a trial run for what they wanted to do with Destiny originally, which will be neat. Maybe Destiny 2 will have that because that was a solid shooter. Even though, it had its problems, but it wasn't. It was done, number one, on a controller, which was impressive.
Yeah.
And number two, generally quickly. It was only in one level, so you got to assume they didn't spend all of their time doing that. And a lot of people don't like Reach. Reach is one of my favorite Halo games.
It's definitely one of the best.
I really do feel it is that way. Not just for that one. Was it a Razor? Is that what they called those ships?
Short Sword.
Short Sword. That's what it was called. Yes, yeah. Those were awesome.
Yes.
But in Elite Dangerous, it's all controlled. It's very precise. You have to know your throttle. You have to know where your ship is aimed. You have to be able to rotate, 360 degrees in every direction. It's very impressive. Another space simulator game that's coming out is called Star Citizen. This was a Kickstarter project, and it's catching a little bit of flack right now, actually. The creators planned on it being released in 2013 when the Kickstarter was completed. And it's now 2015, still not completed. In their defense, this is a lofty project.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be able to fulfill a lot of their promises right now. I think eventually they will. They have some really good veterans on this project. The guy from, was it Ace Flight? X Flight? I don't remember the game, but it was a famous flight simulator on the computer from a long time ago. He's one of the leads on this project. And they're trying to implement it so it's a game where you have Space Marines. So you're playing a first-person shooter.
Okay.
Then you take your Space Marine and you can climb into your ship physically and then start to fly with your friends to another ship, climb out of that ship into that other ship, all real-time gameplay. And then eventually go down to a planet, land, get out of your ship, continuing to play.
Oh.
That's a lofty project.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I can definitely see them not having the technical ability to do that in 2013.
Exactly. And that was the thing, is they're still building this studio. Recently, he was doing an interview, I believe it was with Polygon, and he was talking about it. He's like, look, I know we're late. I know this is happening, but you got to look at what we're doing. And they're releasing different modules to backers so you can still play. Like right now, you can do a dogfight in an arena, so you can still play the game, but not nearly what they're offering.
Yeah.
But that's part of Kickstarter. It's like we talked about last week. We were talking about the Indiegogo, and we were talking about the Fig, those different places. There are different types of crowdfunding. And with Kickstarter, it's kind of you give your money and hope.
Yeah.
And you got to have your faith in them. Well, if you do or if you don't, they're offering some refunds. According to their original charter, you can only get a refund within 14 days of when you backed it. Which
That's a small window.
It is a small window, but people read it when they offered it, or should have read it.
There you go.
But they are offering some for certain circumstances when people are just like, you know what, fuck this game, I want my money back. They are giving refunds.
That's good.
Right. But part of Kickstarter and part of what a lot of these crowdfundings go is hope. They can't get a publisher on board for these products. These products aren't going to happen without you.
Yeah.
So if you're going to give them your money, be sure you want to fund this project. Know it might not happen. This isn't a promise of a product. It's a promise that they're going to try to make it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Exactly. And, it sucks when a lot of these projects that, there are scams. There are people taking these people's money with no intention of completing. But Star Citizen, I don't think is one of them. It's one of those ones where I feel like they got in over their head, definitely. But I think eventually this game will come out. Whether it's completed, they might even run out of money.
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know, but that's part of the risk of Kickstarter. So just be a little bit more weary about what you donate to, what you're, like I said, essentially donating. You're just kind of giving money and hoping. So just be more careful with it.
You got to have faith.
You do got to have faith to do this, and sometimes faith doesn't pay off. I mean, I haven't won the lottery a single time.
Me neither.
Not even once. Although we do have a friend who was struck by lightning twice.
Yeah.
But he also has not won the lottery.
You give and you take.
or you take and you take, and then you hope Star Citizen comes out, damn it.
Yeah.
I was not a backer. I bought Elite Dangerous instead.
And you get what you pay for.
You do, and I love Elite Dangerous. And they're doing a similar thing in Star Citizen where they're just adding things. They've added several planets. It's funny, actually. I was recently playing, and since we have all of those more realistic images of Pluto now,
yeah,
they've updated all of the animation and the physicality of Pluto.
Oh, that's cool.
It looks really, really good. Not that it didn't look good before, but now it looks like Pluto. Because now we have images, and they just went through, they're like, hey, guys, check out this update. We made Pluto look like Pluto.
That's awesome.
That was my main quest in the original game, is I just built a ship that could have a bunch of fuel and some defensive maneuvers and really good mapping skills. Because you can buy different map modules and sell that information around the galaxy.
Nice.
So sorry, that's another thing you can do. You can just be an explorer.
You're a cartographer.
Exactly, and that's what I was originally. And I just wanted to trek to Earth. And so I went from one system to another and trying to get to Earth. So there's lots of different things to do in these space similar games. And a lot of the main hardcore gamer market don't see a lot of these. They do not see a lot of these games because it's on PC. It's a niche market. But it's really worth checking out if you're looking for something to explore. Especially if you're excited for games like it's the PS4 game, the exploration shooter similar to
No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky, thank you. A little bit out of it today.
I understand.
So No Man's Sky is what I was hyped for, and then I heard about Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen, and it actually brought me into these markets. But I'm still excited for No Man's Sky. I just don't know if it'll ever arrive, kind of similar to Star Citizen.
Yeah, I've always been into flight simulators.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that about you.
My favorite one is, I can't even remember which one it is, but it's...
X-Wing Commander?
No, it's one of the Ace Combats. I think it was...
Ooh, Ace Combat 5?
For the PS2?
No, that's like 3 or 4.
I think it's 4.
4.
But it was really cool
it's
political
a really
story and just like...
that was really surprising when I played those. The story was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
in a lot of
and
those
then
games.
I bought Ace Combat 6 for the 360. I'm like, what is this garbage? Burn it, throw it in a hole.
Ace Combat 6 suffered from the second Elite Squadron game. Not Elite Squadron. The Red Squadron games, I think, are what they were called. The Star Wars flight simulators.
Yeah?
The second one was trying way too hard to be accessible. So it was way too easy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where a lot of those Ace Combats later on failed.
Yeah.
They were just trying to get people to play them.
Assault Horizon was utter garbage. Played that for 10 minutes, not even, and it was just like, no.
And see, that's a big risk, and I cannot fault them for trying to make money. That's what these companies do. It is an art form, but you also have to look at the business side. These games are trying to make money. There's a bottom line they need to reach.
Yeah.
So you want to hit the biggest market. So I cannot blame them when they try to hit a broad audience. It sucks, especially for the niche audience that like them.
Yeah. Like the original fanboys are just going to be like, what is this garbage?
Exactly. It does suck, especially when they gamble on that and they fail.
Yeah.
No one was.
That's a sad part.
And I feel like Ace Combat, the developers should have realized that, because Ace Combat isn't a big game to begin with, even with the niche market. So trying to make it more accessible is just going to lose the original audience you had.
Yeah.
And there are still people that buy them when they come out. I don't remember the last one that came out because I lost interest after the Xbox 360
I think it was Assault Horizon.
Yeah, it's just not for me, especially when I have games like Elite Dangerous to take it to the next step.
Yeah.
Which is what I wanted, I wanted a space simulator, and this is what I have. You, in my recommendations, check out Elite Dangerous. Check out the movie Space Truckers.
All right. Is it on Netflix?
No, it's not on Netflix.
Damn.
I believe it's on Amazon, though. So
okay.
I would check it out digitally there. It's a really good bad movie.
The things I love.
Dennis Hopper plays a space trucker, and he finds out his cargo is a cyborg menace that could take out the galaxy, so he's trying to deliver it into the right hands while being attacked by the wrong hands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Worth checking out because you'll get a laugh. Additional, little bonus here, check out the movie Ice Pirates. Additionally, good bad movie,
Ice Pirates, you say?
Similar vein, actually. But on Earth with pirates.
Okay.
So we're checking out. So we're on MMOs, Elite Dangerous. You hate everything. Recently, you tried out FF14.
Yeah, I tried it for probably about 10 to 15 minutes last night, and all of that time was in a tutorial that was obnoxious and not fun at all.
It's a tutorial. So you didn't get past the tutorial?
No.
Okay, then...
It was so cumbersome and just so obnoxious with all the frickin' just exposition thrown in my face that I did not care about.
Yes, but that's every video game has a tutorial. It's got to show you how to play.
Yeah, I understand that. But, I mean, it was just it was thrown at me in a way that just made me not have any interest in trying to play the game.
That's fine, and you can have that, but you cannot say you hate Final Fantasy 14 because
no,
you played the tutorial.
I don't necessarily hate it. I've only played 15 minutes of it. It's just it's the most recent thing on my list of I don't really like this.
I agree with that, but I really do recommend you finish the tutorial, because after that tutorial, the game really does open up. And it has, in my opinion, one of the best stories from any Final Fantasy in the last 10 years. Wait, you didn't like 10, right?
No.
Yeah,
no,
story-wise, right?
Yeah.
The gameplay I thought was fine.
It was okay. I mean...
It was Final Fantasy gameplay.
Yeah.
I think you would like 14. I think you need to give it a chance after that tutorial. Like, how far into the tutorial did you get? You said 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, I got to the town I start out in.
Oh, you're almost done with it.
Yeah, I did a couple missions of talk to this guy, talk to this guy.
Right. Yeah, basically all that is trying to get you the starting equipment.
Yeah.
At that point. Once you're done with that, the game really does open up. And the main storyline starts a good 10 minutes later. Now, it sucks. I'm saying, hey, give that game 35 minutes, Who has 35 minutes, Dave? But I would, we should start that out again sometime. I'll go with you, so we're having fun, so you can just kind of work through that.
All right.
You know what I mean? We'll have a couple beers. We'll give it a second shot.
Hell yeah.
So, because honestly, I'm not a huge fan of MMOs either. I've given many a chance.
It's just like I've seen gameplay of it, and it looks really interesting to me because, you can change what you are.
Yeah, all the time.
You have complete freedom of what you're doing.
Last week I was a fisherman.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not stuck in this route of, I'm a warrior, I have to smash things.
Exactly. Soon I'm going to try out the Dragoon stuff because I just unlocked
and
that new expansion.
I actually watched someone do the crafting, and it actually took input from the person instead of just going, click here, click here, click here.
It has a really good crafting system. Like I said, you just need to get past that tutorial. This is an MMO you can get behind because, number one, you do not have to play it every day to get the advantages of it. Even though you kind of feel like you have to, since it does have a subscription model, which all MMOs do.
Yeah.
And I say all MMOs, not all MMOs have it. Guild Wars 2 doesn't. But a lot of them have a subscription model. And you know what's to keep those games up and going. And FF14 definitely has benefited from it. You're getting really, really good content that's been coming out, and it's a fun game, and it has a really good community. That's another thing that I really like of FF14. you don't have 1,000 people going, "Oh, noobs, I'm not helping you." Every day I have somebody offering to help me with the quest.
That is my biggest problem with online games is the people who play them.
Yeah, it's a rough thing, and that's why finding friends that play them is really where you want to go.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, like, I think we should try out FF14 together. I think you'd like it a little bit more. So, but you've played other MMOs, and you hate them.
Yes.
What have you played, and why do you hate them?
I will enjoy them for about level 20, and then just get so tired of all the fetch quests and kill 20 of these, kill 20 of these, kill 20 of these. There's no story. Kill 20 of these.
And that's where FF14, I think, really shines, because it's an MMO. That is the gameplay. It's kill these things, go to this guy. That's RPG, essentially.
Yeah.
What helps an RPG along with that is the story.
Yeah, the story that's weaved into all that.
And a lot of people like those other stories. Like, I think WoW has a really good story. It's finding it is difficult because there's so much stuff.
It was so garbled in there. I'm just like, what is this?
Yeah, so you have to number one, you have to enjoy the gameplay, period.
And then when you're playing with people who want to rush through, get all the experience, you're just like, well, they're just clicking through the menus, and they're like, dude, why aren't you over here now? It's like, I'm trying to get the story. It's like, no, shut up, get over here. It's like, fine, I'll just click through shit, not care, and then I'm done.
Right, so FF14, you don't really have that trouble because it is a really interesting story. And most people are playing it for the story. It's not a game where people click through all those menus as much because it's an interesting world. It's Final Fantasy. It's in Ivalice, that world.
Yeah.
Except for it has little things from all different ones. Like, there's time traveling aspects, so it incorporates FF13, just like that time traveling stuff. I know you're not a big fan of FF13, but it incorporates lots of different worlds. The Dragoon Force is a thing. You can ride chocobos. Like, that should sell it to you right there.
I mean, yeah.
You can make a chocobo fly too with a certain herb eventually.
Oh.
That's how you get a flying mount.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can have a fat flying chocobo.
I want to see this.
So I think you should check that out. But so you hate World of Warcraft because it's got a shitty story to you, and you're not a big fan of the gameplay. What other ones have you tried?
There's the Old Republic, which I enjoyed immensely at the beginning. Like, they got all those voiceovers. It seems like an interesting story to begin with, but it just got so damn tedious.
Which character did you play?
I played Sith Warrior. I think I was a Marauder.
The two-handed ones?
No, not two-handed. No? Well, yeah, two-handed, but not one two-handed lightsaber. It's the dual-wielding.
Yeah, dual-wielding. Yeah. The dual-wielding class. My favorite class in that game.
Yeah,
But the story for that class is very
It's honestly like a rogue without being a rogue.
Yeah, it is the rogue class,
yeah.
if you compare it to any other MMO.
But I didn't feel like I was a rogue, was the thing.
Because you weren't stealing stuff.
Yeah.
And I get you. See, with Star Wars, you want to have a lightsaber, you want to fight things. That's the main gist of it. The story really comes with that class, with the additional raids that you do.
Yeah.
With Stux, because all the other classes in that game has a really good story. In my opinion, my favorite is the Imperial Agent.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. That's usually like the most interesting one. I also played the Bounty Hunter, which was boring as shit.
I didn't like the Bounty Hunter story. I felt the Imperial Agent was a better version of that because you're hunting down people at the will of the Sith, of the Empire. But you kind of have choices. While being part of the Empire, you don't have to be good. I mean, you don't have to be evil. You can be good if you want to. And it's almost like a James Bond movie to me in that aspect because you're kind of hunting down people. You have a license to kill. You can woo people. It was like James Bond in Star Wars.
There was one really great moment I played as my Sith warrior. There's one thing where you're trying to protect this cargo that they're trying to unload at the ship, and some bounty hunters show up and like, hey, we're gonna kill you and take your shit, and I'm just like. I clicked the bad option because it's just like it just seems like it's gonna intimidate them and scare them off. But what my character actually says is, "I'm going to eat your skin." And I'm like, "Damn, that escalated quickly."
Yeah. See, part of it is because you were an angry person just in general. So like when you play an aspect of those games, you're like, no, I'm done. Which is perfectly fine. Life's too short and there's too many games to play for you to continue playing a game you don't like.
Yeah.
So I understand you not always taking recommendations when people are like, well, no, try this instead, or just retry it, play a little bit longer. Life is too short for a lot of those things. So I don't blame you for that. But if you do want to get back into a Star Wars world, I would try a different class in that game. But, you can hate it as much as you want to hate it. MMOs really just seem like they're not for you.
Yeah.
But FF14, I feel like if there was going to be one, that would be or Guild Wars 2. Because Guild Wars 2 is one that you've probably never played, right?
I did play it once for a very limited period of time.
Did you? What'd you think of it when you played it?
Definitely interesting.
Number one, it's the steampunk world, so
I'm into it.
more up your alley because I know you're a big steampunk fan. It reminds me a lot of FF6 world meets their tactics world.
Huh.
Yeah, is really how I feel about it. Like, there's a class that's basically a tinkerer. You have a machinist class, and you can build turrets and things like that.
I just remember, like, the character I played was an assassin, and I just laughed out loud because
his final move. Are you sure you're thinking of Guild Wars 2 and not 1?
No, it was 2.
It was 2? Okay,
Yeah.
because Guild Wars 1 was the big thing because the assassin yelled very, very loud during each of his moves.
Maybe it was 1. It was a long time ago.
It was 1. Guild Wars 2 only came out a few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. But 1 was fun. 1 was a good time. But 2 is really, really good. 2 comes with a lot of advances in the modern Western RPG. A lot of collectible stuff. So a lot of missions like that, if you want to do that. Not go here, get this. More like, hey, if you see this creature, try to tame it.
Oh.
Yeah. I love the Ranger class in those games because you can tame creatures. You can ride them. You can befriend them as an attack companion. Eventually, you can ride things like dragons. It's a really, really cool class. I have the machinist and I have a ranger. And the story is pretty interesting. The main story is fun, but it's vague. It's good, but you want more of it.
Yeah.
Is a main problem, but you can dig into it really well because a lot of the side missions tie into the story really well. It's like a good fantasy world, but you have to find which book you like.
Okay.
It's kind of like that. So I do recommend trying out Guild Wars. I know we always recommend MMOs, but it's the same thing when people say they don't like superhero movies. Each one is different. As a dumb statement.
Definitely.
Also, Guild Wars 2 is free now up until the expansion content. So the main game is free. Not just subscription free, free.
Neat.
Yes. Very neat. Very worth trying. So I do recommend that. So you hate MMOs. There's a couple for you to try. Anything else you hate about MMOs?
My main thing against them is just the lack of story.
I gotcha. Having to work for the story
Yeah.
is an appeal to some people, not an appeal to others.
I'm a heavy story gamer. Like, if it weren't for video games, I'd probably just read books.
Right. You're a linear guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want the story fed to you in a good way, and I don't blame you. I'm very similar, but I have more open taste. I like different things sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like yes, I do enjoy like silly gameplay sometimes. You know,
right.
Like there are games I play just for the gameplay.
Right.
Because I want to have silly fun.
Well, it's like you said. You like simulators, like flight simulators. Those have no story almost.
Yeah.
You know,
except for that Ace Combat.
Well,
which was...
that Ace Combat. But I mean, if you play Elite Dangerous, it's about creating your own story.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people's story aspects are for MMOs. It's, hey, you remember that time when we had to fight that big guy, but our raid partner was gone, so we had to dual class? You know, it's stuff like that. A lot of what people get out of MMOs is that camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like sometimes you always try MMOs by yourself and then go, hey, I didn't like this game, and then we try to get you back into it. I feel like you should really start MMOs with us more often. Because a lot of the fun is the camaraderie of it. It's learning that game together. It's going through that game together. Hey, did you level up? No. Okay, come here. I'll go level you up with this guy, and then you can have this sword, and we can go take out this boss together. You know, think about the best times you've had with those MMOs. They weren't by yourself.
No, they were definitely in like raiding situations.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Well, not raiding, but
well, sometimes. You know, you've made it far enough in Old Republic to raid with us. So.
Well, yeah, but I'm just thinking in WoW, they're not called raids. What were the original?
WoW were raids.
No, I mean like raids were the big ones, weren't they?
Yeah. You have instances.
Yeah, instances.
Yeah, there's different kinds, but they're all the same thing. You know, take out a big boss, you're gonna need help.
Yeah.
To go through this dungeon. People know what you mean. A clone of WoW that you definitely won't like. Rift. Fun, different, not up your alley. DC Universe Online.
I did play that one.
That one is fun because it has action. Action thrown into the combat, which is fun, and you're a superhero. So you can customize your outfit. You're a superhero. It's set in the DC universe, which is fun. Pre-New 52. So that's pretty cool. I recommend that one.
I had fun playing that. I was a healer who used guns.
Yeah, that's good stuff. How come you didn't continue playing that one?
I didn't have a PS3. I played it on yours.
Well, I'll play that again with you whenever you want to play it, because I have a PS3 and a PS4. You can play it on my PS3 if you want.
I did sort of get lost in the story of that one too, though.
It depends on. There's no main. The main story is that Lex Luthor comes back from the future and is like, "Look, we fucked up the planet.
Yeah.
We
And
gotta redo
Brainiac
this."
is trying to kill
Yep.
us all.
Brainiac comes back, releases these exobytes on the Earth, gives people powers. So everybody has superpowers.
Yep.
So the main story of that is iffy. The story you get is different issues essentially in the raids. So you're going through a different dungeon and hey, it's this villain. He has his own mission chain. Like, hey, take out Scarecrow before he can release this toxin, if that sounds familiar to you. You know? Or hey, our old Lex Luthor's up to it again. He's got clones over at CAD Labs, you know.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so get over there. So it's like reading comics. Some stories are good, some stories aren't, but there's tons to read.
Yeah.
So, again, you get a lot of that fun through the camaraderie. And also, I love just collecting the different styles.
Oh, yeah, I did really like the costume. I like the way that worked.
Yeah, like my guy is a clone of Green Arrow, essentially. But I'm orange and black. I have different outfits of, like, Green Arrow through the years. Like, I have his year 1 costume that I wear sometimes. Or I want it to look like the New 52, so I have, like, a sleeveless hoodie with armor.
Yeah.
And a recurve bow or... You know, there's so many different things that you can do in that game.
I just went silly with it because I tried to look as demonic as possible while being the healer.
That's awesome. Are you do you fly for your movement, or do you have super speed?
Yeah, I think I fly. Yeah.
Flying's really fun. Super speed is my favorite movement, just because it's super speed.
Yeah, I mean, super speed.
It does suck that the way they did it is that's your movement superpower. You don't have a separate superpower.
Yeah.
You know that, but. It can be neat. Like my speedster, I call him, he's a speedster, so he has super speed. But then I'm just a martial artist, so it's kind of like the Flash. But I don't, because the other people use gadgets. If you're a martial artist, mine's just pure martial. So there are different things you can do in that game. If that was one that you enjoyed, I do recommend it because it has a really good community. People are always willing to help. It's also free to play. The subscription model is cheap, and if you don't want to subscribe, everything's available through microtransactions, and they're not too expensive. And a lot of stuff is available as in-game content as well. So that's a good combo.
And that's another thing that really bothered me about the Old Republic is that it was so heavy on paying for everything.
Yeah. And not everything. I think that's just a lot of what you want at the time. But a lot of that stuff, once it's microtransaction available, eventually becomes free content. You just have to work towards it. Like, I got the Han Solo gear eventually for free.
Yeah.
It just, like, it's timed, essentially. And you still have to go after it.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of that stuff is free eventually. Just if you see it in the store, it's not available free yet.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what you want and when you play it. But microtransactions are part of playing games online. You know, we can fight them as long as we want, but it's not going to go away, especially not in the MMO atmosphere.
Definitely not.
But a lot of that stuff is just cosmetic. Like, nothing in that you buy physically affects combat. So that is one thing you have to look at. Like, yeah, you might want it because it looks cool. I want that thing. It sucks that I can't get that thing, but it's not going to help you play the game.
Yeah, but, like, even, like different functions in the game were, like, locked out because you didn't.
Well, for subscribers, though.
Yeah.
Right. And that's very different than microtransactions. Locking it behind that paywall, I think, is legitimate because
but you could also pay for a microtransaction to unlock that specific function.
Yes, you could, because you don't want that subscription model.
Yeah.
But that's different. Like, if you subscribe, you get all that stuff. You know, you get your speeder bike license, you get rocket boots, just because, you know, it's an incentive for people to pay this game. Because otherwise, you're playing for free and complaining you didn't get the game.
Yeah.
You know? So that I will argue with you on a little bit, because it's like, you're getting this game for free. Oh, it sucks I don't get that content for free. It's like, well, you know, you get a lot of content for free in that game.
It is true.
So, I mean, there is a little bit on that. And DC Universe doesn't do that. What it does with your subscription is, like, you get a base. You get all the expansions for free. Not for free, but with the subscription, you get all the expansions. That means you can be certain powers that they unlock later, like a Green Lantern or a Red Lantern. You can unlock additional speedster powers. That unlocks a lot of raid contents for additional stories. So if you're gonna go money, gameplay for your money, DC Universe Online does a really, really good job of it. Guild Wars as well. Guild Wars expansions are cheap, and they add a shit ton.
Yeah. Now, what are your thoughts on Elder Scrolls Online?
Elder Scrolls Online, Now that it's come to consoles, I think I might play it because they got rid of the subscription. So as long as you buy the game and you have PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live, you can play it.
Yeah, because I mean that would be a big incentive not to play it for me because I'd be paying for PlayStation Plus and then the subscription.
That was my main problem with it is not being able to do those two things. It was just too expensive. I'm not paying $75 for a game. Even though when Arkham Knight came out, I was a sucker and bought the season pass, so I paid $100 for that game. For very mediocre DLC content.
Hype trains often crash into things.
It wasn't the hype train. I just wanted that content because I didn't want to feel left out, essentially. With ESO, I played it when it was, I don't know if it was beta access or if it was just free for a time period. It was fun. It felt a little like Skyrim with less personality. It was neat because there's a lot more to do in an MMO sense. There's more missions. You can become a werewolf or a vampire, which is what the game became for a little while, just people asking, hey, bite me and become a werewolf, which was a neat aspect until everyone's doing it.
Right.
And it was just like Twilight with Skyrim effects.
Oh, God.
But as an MMO, it's a neat option because it's action combat. You can play in third or first person. But it wasn't as fleshed out as a normal Elder Scrolls game, which it's not going to be. They have to build a much bigger world in a much more effective way for an MMO audience. So it is going to be different, but I don't think it's for me. It's too different from an MMO for me to enjoy it from that standpoint, and too different from an Elder Scrolls game for me to love it on that standpoint.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I don't think it was a perfect amalgamation of it. The story was a lot better than I thought it was, but not as interesting as 4, 5, or 6, which are the main Elder Scrolls games I've played.
Yeah.
So, or not 4, 5, and 6. 3, 4, and 5. Right.
There you go.
Thank you. I saw it and I was like, no, that's wrong.
I was like,
So, and that's why they didn't call this like Elder Scrolls 5 or Elder Scrolls 6. I mean,
numbers are hard.
Numbers are hard.
Didn't go to math class,
and I can like that's why they didn't. And it also wasn't developed by the main studio, so you can tell a little bit of difference in those little intricacies.
Yeah.
But I would recommend it if you want an MMO that does do it in a Skyrim sense. Or any of the Elder Scrolls.
Because, I mean, I've always been a fan of that world.
I do recommend it in that aspect. And we're going to take a small break, and we will be right back.
Okay.
All right, we're back. Thank you for staying with us. I had a little minor hiccup, and
we often don't know what we're doing.
I don't know how to read, so it was trouble. We had to pull out the manual, then I got Braille. It was a whole thing. So, we were talking about Elder Scrolls Online. We've been talking about MMOs for a while now. We're going to segue a little bit into an unrelated topic. Dave saw a commercial for the Goosebumps movie.
I have never read any of the Goosebumps books. Let's just put that out there right now.
Okay, so you weren't a fan of any of those.
I did see some of the Goosebumps show when I was a kid, and it scared the bejeebus out of me. It's why I don't like mannequins to this day, because it was Night of the Living frickin' Dummy.
I loved Goosebumps as a kid. I loved the other show, Are You Afraid of the Dark? That was on Nickelodeon. Thought that was awesome.
I did actually watch a thing about that on YouTube.
Did you watch the actual show, or did you just watch the silly clips?
Silly clips. It was a guy talking about it. His name's Jonathon.
Oh, Jonathon. Yeah, he did show a lot of the campy footage. There are a lot of campy moments. It was a show for kids. In the 90s.
What are you gonna do?
Exactly, but there are some legitimately scary ones. Now, would it scare you as an adult? Now, maybe not.
Probably not.
But I mean, you're not a big fan of scary movies, so there are probably a couple of jumps in there that would get you. Because you're not wore out on them. You're not super used to it.
And there's still things that would just be freaky to begin with.
Exactly. There's one episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark that's really, really good about a monster that can slip in through water drains, and it's terrorizing a school with pools.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
No, you wouldn't, and it's amazing, and you're going to watch it, and you're going to be afraid every time you take a shower.
Ah!
So you saw the trailer for it. What'd you think? Jack Black running around being silly?
At first I was like, what is this? Then I see Jack Black, and I hear the name R.L. Stein. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
what?
He plays R.L. Stein in the movie.
Yeah, I know. I actually was really impressed by what I did see of him acting as a crazy writer.
Right.
And he didn't burst into song.
Yet.
I'm
waiting. I feel like he's going to be possessed by a silly ghost and be Jack Black.
I'd be okay with that.
I love Jack Black. I just feel like, can he go through a whole movie without doing that?
I mean, everything I've seen so far.
Really do.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'd see it if I had children or a younger audience or something.
If you're just bored and drunk.
I'd see a lot of movies bored and drunk.
Hell yeah.
So maybe we'll go see that. But so as not a fan of the books or the show or tangential shows, but you still want to go see this?
Yeah, I did really enjoy the meta of this storyline that it's like about the writer of the book series.
Right. Which I did not expect. I did not know that's what it was about until
I didn't think that would be a thing.
Yeah, until I think that, like, the girl in the movie, she's showing off her dad's book collection, and the kid opens up the books, and that releases.
It releases every monster he's ever created.
That's kind of neat. You know, it reminds me of like the end of a kids show, like, oh, we have to refight everybody we ever fought before.
Yeah,
like Beetleborgs or something. You know?
Oh boy, don't even get me started on Beetleborgs.
I was actually looking. They have an SH Figure Arts version of the Blue Beetleborg. Yeah, I might buy that. It's like $100. Totally worth it, right?
Definitely.
One more thing I want to talk about before we go is CC. He's a Canadian rapper, and he just released an entire album on SoundCloud. You can stream it for free, and it's all from the perspective of Frieza from Dragon Ball Z,
which is fantastic.
It is fantastic. It's definitely gangster rap. It's definitely hardcore.
But it almost makes it better to me.
It really does, and I really think he represents Frieza better than he was represented on that show sometimes.
Yeah,
and it's not just from the original Frieza saga, you know, on Namek. But it goes past that into what's going on now in the new resurrection of F and everything like that.
He really was an underplayed character in the show because, like, Akira Toriyama was planning on that being the end of it.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be the biggest, baddest thing in the universe.
But it was
Goku
just so successful over there that he had to keep going. But really, really good album, actually. I'm not a huge fan of that kind of rap style.
Yeah, I've heard a couple tracks. I mean, it did make me think of a certain song that...
Hannah Montana?
Yeah.
Hannah Montana. And then this one's Vegeta. Vegeta.
Vegeta.
Really worth checking out, though. Like I said, it's free on SoundCloud. I think he is CC the Season on or CC Season on SoundCloud. But check that out.
Interesting name choice, but whatever. I'm not Canadian. I don't understand your customs.
I don't think it has anything to do with being Canadian.
You don't know that. You're not Canadian.
Okay, fair enough. I will take that. We'll reach out to the guys from Epic Mealtime. They can explain the name, the etymology of CC.
All right.
Yeah, that'll be what we call it. It'll be a crossover event. I don't think that'll happen, but I'll try anyways.
Probably not, but you never know.
You never know. So is there anything else you want to talk about before I let these people free?
I mean,
we dominated the entire show about a topic that you don't like, and most of it was positive.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
That's different. It's not what I expected.
It's not at all what you thought was going to happen, was it?
It's almost like there was a switch and also a bait involved in there.
All right, fine. I have one more thing I want to talk about, and that's Metal Gear Solid 5.
Right. You've been heavily into that lately.
It's so good. So good. And it's actually Metal Gear Solid I can recommend to you not knowing the story. Because while the story missions are cool, and there's some fan service, and it does tie into the overall series, it's the gameplay that's king here. The gameplay is so good. I hadn't played a Metal Gear Solid in a long time. I had skipped 4 originally. I went back and I played it. It was really good. But I had just been, off of it because there hasn't been one in a while. I don't often replay Metal Gear Solid. This game is so good. It's one of the best open worlds I've ever seen, and it is truly an approach to the situation any way you want. A lot of games say, "Oh, you can take this any way you want to," but you can't.
You really can't.
You're funneled into some sort of gameplay gimmick. Not within Metal Gear Solid 5. So I'm going to give you just a hint of one mission that I had that went awry. So my objective was to sneak into this base that was on the side of a canyon. So I'm in a box canyon, essentially. There's a road heading down, and I'm walking down the road. There's 2 guys in my way. So I go around them. One of them spots me. I take him out with my tranquilizer, no problem. I Fulton them back to my base. You attach your little parachute and fan, and it takes them back to your base as long as you're successful.
Silliest thing I've ever seen, but I love it.
So then I get up to the base. I need to infiltrate. Not a problem. I sneak through. I'm tranquilizing guys here and there. They're not that good skill-wise, so I don't need to send them back to my base to add to my army. I'm just going to leave them there. Well, I'm taking a little bit too long to get the information I need. So I find a cassette tape. I'm like, oh, I need that. But first I'm going to get the mission. So the mission is to go in and get this blueprint. So I get the blueprint. Fine, I'm going to get out of here. But that cassette tape is still playing. Now, with the cassette tapes, they usually play music or important information. And if they're music, you can add them to your chopper. So when your chopper comes down, it'll play that music. So I need this cassette tape. I need it for my collection. Right now I have things like Kids in America or Final Countdown.
Which are all fantastic songs.
Awesome songs. But I need this cassette. I can't even really tell what song it's playing, but just It's like the OCD completionist mind of video gamers. I need this cassette tape. I cannot leave without it.
That collectathon part of your brain is just like, I need everything.
So, and that overrides the part of my brain that knows the guys I tranquilized earlier are going to get up soon. I've been in here way too long. So I get this cassette tape. A guy sees me. I wasn't sneaky enough. I knock him out, no problem. But as I leave this door, one of the guys that was tranquilized wakes up. He wakes up his friend. They're then calling back to base going, hey, there's somebody here. That sets off their chopper that had been watching the area that I had snuck by successfully so far, and it starts looking for me. It has a giant machine gun on the back of it.
And I'm guessing this is where the proverbial fecal matter hits the rotating blade
Exactly. Exactly. The shit has hit the fan.
You got it.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, and it's shit.
Everywhere.
So I leave. Somebody spots me. I don't have time. There's 2 more guys awake in front of me. So he starts shooting at me. They start shooting at me. I dive off the cliff. I surprisingly survived the fall, but just barely. So now I'm running down this road I came in on, and then I see the chopper. It's now shooting behind me. I don't have a rocket launcher yet. I have not developed one. So I'm now running for my life with no cover. I finally see a rock. I take place behind it, but there's no way for me to leave. This chopper's going to circle around and shoot me from this side. If I try to go back, they're going to shoot me. All I have is tranquilizer guns. I'm out of rounds now in my machine gun. I have nothing left to do. So I start firing tranquilizer darts at this helicopter. No luck. It's not going to take it out. I can't see the person commanding the helicopter, so I can't knock them out and crash the plane, which is possible, but I'm not going to be able to do it. So this helicopter is coming at me, my impending doom. Dave looks up at me and he goes, hey, don't you have that helicopter support thing? And I go, oh, yes, I do have helicopter support. So I radio in support. And just in the nick of time before that machine gun reaches me, I hear the final countdown playing as my helicopter swoops in, shoots everybody else, and starts attacking that helicopter. So there's 3 more guys. I'm able to take them out CQC style, knock them out, and then my helicopter shoots the other helicopter down. It's now crashed. They've called in reinforcements. They're shooting at my helicopter. I call my helicopter off and ride my Mustang out into the sunset.
By Mustang, you mean horse, not the car.
Duh, Dave.
Just making sure everybody else knows.
It's in the middle of the desert. Why would I have a car? That's just dumb. You need a 4-wheel drive.
It's a video game. Many things can happen.
This is why we don't talk to you anymore. But so that was one of my crazy experiences with Metal Gear Solid 5. And you really can approach any situation any way you want to. There's a really cool RPG system. And when I say RPG, take it with a grain of salt. You're not leveling up Metal Gear Solid characters, really. What you are is leveling up your base. You are adding people to different teams, like your R&D team or your combat team, that makes them better, makes your base better. You can build bigger areas on your platform, on your base, and expand your army. Keep folding people back, folding equipment, sending trucks, sending guns, sending resources to build more things. Level up your R&D department by adding people to it, so then you can build bigger guns, better guns.
All right.
You can eventually steal somebody to upgrade your prosthetic arm so it can do stun moves or hit harder. It's such a cool game. There's so much to do to it. The story is very light. It's okay. Even in a Metal Gear sense, where Metal Gear's wacky, so you take it with a grain of salt, it's still really good sci-fi. With Metal Gear 5, it was okay. I didn't really care about it. The gameplay was amazing, though. So I recommend playing that even if you're not a fan of the Metal Gear story.
I might give it a try eventually.
Yeah.
I still got to work through Batman.
You can skip through those stories if you want to. Beat Batman. It's definitely attainable. Yeah. Metal Gear 5 is endless fun. You can kind of play that. Even once you beat the story, it doesn't end. You can still go around leveling up your army, taking down stealth missions, getting an S rank on each one.
So have you beaten the story of it?
I've beaten the main story now, but I have not beaten all the other missions. And again, I don't know, maybe 10% through.
What?
Okay, maybe I didn't beat it. I know, like, there's a lot of false endings in the story. Mission... I don't even know what mission I'm on. But there's a lot of false ends, so maybe I didn't beat the main story, but I've beaten a lot of it. But there's still lots to do, though.
Sounds like a deep pool, and I don't know how to swim.
You're right. I don't know what mission I'm on. I don't know. We're going to cut this out. Everyone in our audience is going to think I'm dumb.
Well, I mean...
that's true. Play Metal Gear Solid. It's really, really good. And MMOs.
I mean, some of them.
Play MMOs. They're fun. Play with your friends. Don't be like Dave. Don't be a loner.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, or don't. Whatever you want to do. Thank you for listening to the Cave Trolls podcast. I'm Terry.
I'm Dave.
You can reach us on Twitter at Cave Trolls Cast. You can reach us on Facebook, Cave Trolls Cast.
I think that's Cave Trolls Podcast.
Cave Trolls Podcast on Facebook. Tweet at us. Email us at cavetrollscast@gmail.com.
Yep.
Come to our website. Like, subscribe on iTunes. Drop a review if you hate us, if you love us. Either way, does not matter.
No such thing as bad press.
No such thing as bad press. If you have any questions, you want us to talk about something, if you want to generally yell at us.
Or give us topics.
Yeah, give us topics. Give us something to talk about, complain about.
What do you want to hear two shitheads argue about?
What do you want to hear if Dave hates or loves? Probably hates. I'm going to tell you right now he hates it. But we'll still talk
Probably.
about it. Like, he hates MMOs. We talked an entire hour on it. Just go ahead, reach out.
Ah.
See what I did there? Thank you for listening.